On July the 6th of this year, 4 masked men snatched £30,000, which was being transferred to the Frampton branch of the British United Bank. Wearing balaclava helmets and wielding pickaxe handles, they threw ammonia into the eyes of the bank staff and got away with the money, none of which has been recovered. After intensive inquiries, only one man has been arrested, and today, 35-year-old Harry George Bryant stands trial, charged in connection with the raid with robbery with violence and with assaulting the police.
My lord, for my first witness, I would like to call...
Wait a minute. May I say something before we continue, my lord?
No, you may not. Sit down. Your chance to speak will arrive in due course. Until then, you will remain quiet.
I have a right to be heard.
At the proper time. Until then, anything else you wish to convey to this court will be done through the offices of your counsel, Miss Tate.
No, it won't.
Miss Tate, I suggest you speak to your client and advise him on court procedure before I am forced to punish him for contempt or have him removed.
As you say, my lord.
I don't wish to take her advice, my lord. I'm sacking her.
Your what?
I wish to dispense with the services of my legal representative, my lord.
Did you know anything of this, Miss Tate?
No, my lord. That is, my client and I had a disagreement on how his defence was to be conducted, but I thought the matter had been settled.
Yes, apparently not.
No, my lord.
Is the accused represented under legal aid?
He is, my lord.
And then he will continue to be.
If I may remind his lordship, the accused is not bound to have a counsel if he's under legal aid. If he insists in acting on his own behalf, he is entitled to do so, and refusal to allow him is a ground of appeal. The authority for this, my lord, is to be found in R.
Yes, of course, Mr. Logan. You're quite right. I'm obliged to you. Thank you for reminding me. Now, who are the solicitors acting for the accused?
Eldon and Christie, my lord.
Is either of them in court?
No, my lord.
I see. Why did you not inform the court earlier than this that you intended to dispense with the assistance of counsel?
Well, I intended to, my lord, but I didn't quite know when to do it.
Are you not? That Miss Tate is not without experience as an advocate, and to dispense with her services at this stage would be ill-advised, to say the least.
I didn't choose her, my lord. The trouble with the legal aid system
I
is
am not interested in your opinion of the legal aid system. Just consider yourself fortunate that you live in a country where the opportunity to be defended by learned counsel in a court of law at the taxpayer's expense is open to you.
I'm innocent, my lord. I shouldn't be here in the first place. Well, I don't consider that fortunate.
You are here, Mr. Bryant, because the magistrates committed you for trial. It will be for the jury to decide your guilt or innocence. You are, of course, entitled to defend yourself. But my advice to you is that you reconsider your position.
Well, I've been reconsidering it for the last week, my lord. I wish to defend myself.
Are you saying that you do not wish for any legal representation?
That's
or
it.
Simply that you do not wish to be represented by Miss Tate?
Yes, that's it.
Which?
Well, I don't want to be represented by anyone.
So be it. Miss Tate?
I don't think there is anything I can usefully say at this point, my lord.
Very well, Miss Tate. You may consider your duties at an end, and you are excused.
My lord.
If I could just explain why I've taken this course, my lord.
If you insist on defending yourself without the assistance of counsel...
But I would like to explain
I repeat, if you insist on defending yourself, it is my duty to see that you abide by the rules of evidence and procedure.
But I'd like to tell you why...
In your own interest, don't. Before you need open your mouth, the prosecution has to prove the case against you. If you open your mouth at this stage, it may help them. Who knows? I will do all I can to assist and direct you as well as I am able. But I warn you that I will not tolerate for long any procedure, any interruptions in this court which might interrupt the procedure of this trial. Is that clear?
Yes, my lord.
I hope it is. We're now ready to continue.
Well, there is one thing, my lord.
What is that?
May I sit in the well of the court?
Oh, very well. In these exceptional circumstances, I will give you permission to do so. But the prison officers will remain with you. I see you've come well prepared. Now, before we start, Mr. Bryant, is there anything else?
Yes, there is just one thing, my lord. I'd like that man removed from the court.
Well, who is that?
It's Inspector Collins, my lord, the arresting and principal officer in this case.
Is he to give evidence?
He is, my lord.
Then he will leave the court until he is called to give his evidence. Now, are we ready to proceed?
Well, I certainly am, my lord.
Very well. You may call your first witness, Mr. Logan.
I'm grateful, my lord. Now, for my first witness, I would like to call Alfred John Mason.
Alfred John Mason, please.
Church of England.
Take the Bible in your right hand, please, and repeat the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Your name is Alfred John Mason, and you live at 16 Mayhew Court, Deal Street in Frampton.
Yes, that is correct.
And you're an employee of the British United Bank with the position of counter-clerk at their sub-branch in Drayton Road, Frampton.
Yes.
In your own words, Mr. Mason, would you tell the court about the events which you found yourself involved in on the morning of Thursday, the 6th of July of this year?
Yes, sir. Well, on that morning I called at our main branch, as I do most mornings, before going on to the sub-branch where I work. It's to collect any papers, documents that we may have to deal with. Except Thursdays, that is, when I also collect the money, and then with Mr.
Just
Rowe.
stop there a moment, please, Mr. Mason. You say that you collect the money. Would you explain to the court what money, precisely?
Well, it's the money we always take to the sub-branch every Thursday morning.
Yes, but why? Who for?
Well, it's mainly for local building contractors. It's their weekly payroll. They collect it later in the day.
You sign for it, I suppose, when you take delivery at the main branch?
Of course, we both do.
Both?
Mr. Rowan and I.
As Mr. Rowan being the bank guard?
Yes.
Mr. Rowan will be giving evidence, my lord. How much money did you sign for on this occasion?
£30,000.
Exactly?
Yes.
None of which has been recovered, I believe.
That's rather a lot of money, Mr. Mason. Was it usual for you to collect that amount each Thursday?
Yes, sir.
Now, please proceed, Mr. Logan.
I'm obliged, my lord. What happened after you and Mr. Rowan had collected the money?
We drove to the sub-branch with it.
And how far is that?
About 5 miles?
I see. You arrived at the sub-branch, presumably without incident.
Yes.
And then what happened, Mr. Mason?
Well, we got out of the car, and Mr. Rowan went round to the boot and unlocked it. Then I took the case out, and we started towards the bank.
You didn't park directly outside the bank, then?
Well, we couldn't. There was this transit van parked there. We parked just behind it.
Go on.
Well, suddenly the rear doors of this transit van burst open, and a bunch of masked men jumped out brandishing these pickaxe handles and screaming.
Screaming?
Yes. Well, yelling like...
Like what?
Well, like Red Indians on the warpath, I suppose.
I see.
And then what happened, Mr. Mason?
Well, they leapt straight for us. It was terrifying.
I'm sure it was, Mr. Mason. What did you do then?
I didn't do anything. I couldn't. I was so surprised, I sort of just stood there.
It would be fair to say, would it not, Mr. Mason, that you were paralyzed with fear? Well, you needn't reproach yourself for that. I'm sure that any one of us would have acted in a similar way in the same situation. How many of these masked bandits were there, Mr. Mason?
It seemed like hundreds.
Answer counsel's question correctly. How many men did you see jump from the van?
I'm not sure, sir. About 4, I think. They were all big men.
And then what happened?
Well, I'm not too sure, because one of the men squirted ammonia in my eyes, and I didn't see anything after that. I dropped the case. Well, I thought I'd been blinded, you see. Well, the pain was terrible. all I could hear was a lot of shouting and fighting going on around me, and I was pushed to the ground. But I didn't really think about what was going on. All I could think of was my eyes.
You subsequently went to hospital for treatment, did you not?
Yes.
I see that you're wearing dark glasses, Mr. Mason. Does that mean that your vision has suffered as a result of this attack?
Well, I can see all right now, but they do trouble me now and then.
It would be a miracle if they didn't. Thank you, Mr. Mason. I have no more questions for this witness, my lord.
Just a minute, Mr. Mason. You haven't finished yet. Mr. Bryant, you may now, if you so wish, cross-examine this witness on his testimony here and anything else relevant to the issues of this case. Do you so wish?
I do, my lord.
Very well.
Mr. Mason, you were asked by the police to attend an identification parade.
Yes, I was.
Did you attend it?
Yes.
How long after the robbery was this?
Well, a few days, actually.
What, 2, 3?
4, I think.
Did you see me on that parade, Mr. Mason?
I don't remember. You may have been. Well, I didn't pick anyone out.
Well, of course not. You didn't recognise anyone, did you?
No, as I said, the men were masked.
Masked. Now, did the police show you any photographs before the parade, Mr. Mason?
I was shown a book of photos to see if I could recognise anyone. Mugshots, they call them. But of course I didn't recognise anyone.
Did you write a statement?
Yes.
In your own hand?
Yes.
Immediately after the robbery?
Well, a couple of days later.
Mr. Bryant, would you mind telling us where all this is leading? The witnesses said that he didn't recognise anyone, including you.
Well, I just want it made absolutely clear, my lord.
It is, lucidly so.
Yes, my lord. Now, the robbery took place on the 6th of July. That's over 2 months ago, isn't it?
Yes.
And your eyes still trouble you?
Yes.
I suppose they were really bad for weeks after the robbery.
Well, yes, they were. My vision was quite blurred. I wasn't able to work for several weeks.
And yet 4 days after the robbery, you were able to study photographs, attend an identification parade and write a statement in your own hand.
Well, I...
Did the police suggest you wear those glasses in court, Mr. Mason? Or are you expecting a favourable view from the Criminal Compensation Board?
My lord.
Quite, Mr. Logan. That is an extremely improper remark, Bryant. And I must instruct you, members of the jury, to disregard it. I must also warn you, Bryant, that questions which affect the credibility of a witness but have no bearing on the actual inquiry must not be asked, unless you have reasonable grounds for thinking that the imputations conveyed by that question are well-founded or true.
Well, my lord, I would have thought my imputations, as you put it, do have some substance, considering the witness's answers to my questions. And, I refer, my lord, the weight of evidence given by a witness depends upon his knowledge of the facts and his truthfulness.
Yes, I don't know what point you're attempting to establish in any event. Nothing that the witness has said so far implicates you in any way.
Well, perhaps not, my lord, but the emotive issues realised by the degree of seriousness of this witness's injuries could act against me.
Not if you are innocent.
May I continue, my lord?
You may.
Just one last point, Mr. Mason. You said the men that attacked you were all big men. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Bigger than you?
Yes.
All of them, all 4?
Well, yes.
How tall are you, Mr. Mason?
I'm 5'9".
I'm 5'8". Thank you, Mr. Mason. No more questions, my lord.
Mr. Rowan, you have been working as a security guard for this bank for 3 years, and this is the first time that you've ever been attacked and robbed, is that right?
Well, not quite. I have on 2 other occasions been attacked in this capacity, but that was with my previous employers. Fortunately, we were able to beat off the robbers and nothing was stolen.
It must have been a particularly violent and vicious attack on this occasion for you to have failed in protecting the money from these thugs.
Very vicious.
Yes, you received a severe blow with a pickaxe handle to the back of your head and were rendered unconscious?
I needed 12 stitches in my head.
Yes, indeed. However, before that unfortunate and brutal blow to the back of your head, something happened during the struggle. Would you tell the court what that was?
I managed to pull off the mask of one of those thugs and got a look at his face.
I would like you to take a look at Exhibit 2, Mr. Rowan. Have a good look at it. Do you recognize it?
Well, it's a balaclava helmet. The men who attacked us were wearing these as masks.
But can you say if that is the actual mask which you managed to pull from the robber's head?
It's the same shape and colour. It could be the same one.
But you can't be sure.
It could be. It's very similar.
I think we can safely assume that the witness cannot make a positive identification, Mr. Logan.
Now then, Mr. Rowan, as a result of your actions, you were asked to attend an identification parade at Frampton Police Station to see if you could recognize the man whose face you uncovered, were you not?
Yes.
Do you see that man in court today?
Yes, I do. That's him there.
If it please your lordship, could the defendant stand?
Stand up, Bryant.
Is that definitely the man whom you identified as one of the robbers? The one whose face you exposed?
That's him. That's the bastard.
I will not tolerate expletives of that kind in my court. You will apologize this instant.
I'm very sorry, my lord.
Not to me, to the accused.
I apologise.
I repeat my question, Mr. Rowan. Are you absolutely sure that is the man whose mask you pulled off during the robbery?
Absolutely.
You may cross-examine, Mr. Bryant, if you so wish.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Owen, you've told the court that in all your career as a guardian of other people's money, this is the first time that you've failed to protect it from being stolen. Is that right?
It wasn't from want of trying, as you well know.
The point I'm making is that your inability to protect the money on this occasion could cause your employer or any future employer to look twice at your credentials. Isn't that so?
No.
You're getting on a bit over the hill.
Now, look here.
So, as you couldn't exactly prevent the money from being stolen, you did the next best thing, to reinstate yourself, as it were, and made up this story about snatching the mask from the robber's face.
That's not true.
And then told them, the police, that you would recognise him, anyone. It didn't matter to you who it was.
That's ridiculous.
Is it, Mr. Wright?
Well, of course it is. I was shown many photographs by the
my lord,
police.
if I may interrupt the witness at this point.
I think I know what you mean, Mr. Logan.
I was sure you would, my lord. And, of course, it is in the interests of the defendant.
It is indeed.
I must protest, my lord. This is just tactics on Mr. Logan's part. I was about to make a point.
I'm sure you were going to try to make a point, Mr. Bryant. But quite rightly, Mr. Logan interrupted you, and for very good reason. If you continue with this line of questioning, you are venturing in dangerous waters. You are in danger of exposing your own character and putting it in issue. And that means that you may be asked questions about your character, your past, your antecedents, which might prejudice your chances. Now, do you understand what I mean?
Yes, my lord, but I'm afraid I shall have to take that risk. And I would ask you, my lord, if I may address the court on this matter of character.
Now?
Not now, at the appropriate time.
When will that be?
Well, I'm not sure at the moment, my lord.
Very well. We'll see when the time comes.
Thank you, my lord. You were saying, Mr. Rowan, that the police showed you some photographs.
Yes.
When was this?
Well, the day after I was discharged from the hospital.
Yes, but when was that?
Well, I was kept overnight for observation. It would be the day after that, the 8th of July.
Did they show you a lot of photographs?
Yes, quite a few.
Well, 5, 20, 100?
I don't remember. Quite a few.
All right, quite a few. But among the photographs you saw, you picked out one of me, right?
Yes.
Without hesitation?
Yes.
You knew as soon as you saw that photograph that I was the man whose mask you'd removed?
That's right.
Now, how could you be so positive?
Because I saw you, that's how.
For how long?
Long enough.
Long enough? You were in the middle of being attacked and robbed. Your prime concern, so you would have us believe, was the protection of that money. Well, the clerk who accompanied you has testified that the bandits were screaming like Red Indians. Terrifying, he called it. Ammonia was being squirted about, pickaxe handles were being wielded, as you well know. And in all this uproar and confusion, you say that you snatched the mask from the robber's face and looked at it long enough to give a positive and unerring identification. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Rowan?
That's right.
3 days later, from a simple photo?
Yes.
No chance of being mistaken?
Not in this case.
Well, it wasn't me, Mr. Rowan. And had it been me, or anyone else in that position who wished to remain anonymous, I'm sure that they would have turned instinctively away or covered their face or something. Well, that would be natural, wouldn't it?
You didn't.
I think it would be better, Mr. Rowan, if for the purposes of this examination you referred to your assailant in the third person.
But it was him, my lord. I know it was.
Nevertheless, you will do as I ask.
If you insist, my lord.
I do.
Mr. Rowan, Would you say that I've got a distinguished face?
Distinguished? Certainly not.
Well, I'd better rephrase that. Would you say that my face is distinctive in any way?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say
what
that
I'm getting
exactly.
at is that I don't have any unusual features, like a big nose, cauliflower ears, a scar, anything like that.
Well, no, but...
But what?
I know what you're trying to say.
Yes, and so does the court, Mr. Rowan. Are you still sure you couldn't be mistaken?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Rowan, I'm sure you're aware that there are many recorded cases of men who've been wrongly convicted because of mistaken identification by some witness or another who at the time was as positive as you now claim to be.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, I'm thinking of people like James Hanratty.
My lord.
That has never been officially recognised, Mr. Bryant.
Well, perhaps not, my lord. But you must agree that British legal history is littered with cases of mistaken identification. And for every one recorded, well, there must be 20 that we never hear about.
There may be the odd recorded case where unfortunately the wrong person has been identified.
My lord, in 1968, the National Council for Civil Liberties sent a dossier of 15 recent cases to the Home Secretary, in all of which they claimed the wrong man had been identified.
I do not intend to argue with you on this matter, Mr. Bryant. The jury is not concerned with issues of identity in other cases. It is concerned with this case alone, and they will judge whether Mr. Rowan is mistaken or not.
Very well, my lord. Just as long as they're aware that mistakes can be made.
Well, I am not mistaken.
What about the photos, Mr. Rowan?
What about them?
You were shown the photos on the 8th of July and you picked me out, right?
Yes.
And a day later you attended an identification parade and picked me out again, right?
That's right.
And I suppose the police showed you my photograph again, did they?
Yes, they...
They what, Mr. Rowan?
It was just shown to me to confirm that I'd picked it out.
Just before you were about to attend an identification parade?
Well, that was in Inspector Collins' office.
Inspector Collins didn't tell you to pick me out by any chance and show you where I'd be standing on the identification parade, did he?
No, of course not.
No more questions, my lord.
Do you wish to re-examine Mr. Logan?
If it please your lordship, it's just a matter of clarification. Mr. Rowan, you say you positively identified Bryant from a photograph, one of many you were shown, on the 8th, 3 days after the robbery.
Yes.
Well, that was quite soon after the robbery, so the man whose mask you removed, his face would still be quite fresh in your memory.
Yes, but it is part of my job to remember faces.
When you saw the defendant's photo for the first time, you picked it out without hesitation.
Yes.
And without any prompting from the police.
None whatever.
I have no more questions of this witness, my lord.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rowan. You may stand down.
Excuse me, my lord.
What is it?
I was wondering if I might ask the prosecuting counsel if they intend to call as one of their next witnesses one of the police officers involved in the case.
We intend to call Inspector Collins next, my lord.
Any particular reason, Mr. Bryant?
Well, if that's so, my lord, I think that now is the time I'd like to address the court on this matter of my character.
If I anticipate you correctly, Mr. Bryant, I suggest that you think about it very carefully before you do.
The case of the Queen versus Bryant will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. On July the 6th of this year, 4 masked men, armed with pickaxe handles and bottles of ammonia, stole £30,000, which was being transferred to the Frampton branch of the British United Bank. The trial of Harry George Bryant, accused of being one of these men, is already in progress. Bryant has elected to defend himself and has shocked the court by suggesting that the police had shown Bryant's photograph to a key witness, one of the bank staff who was attacked, before he took part in an identification parade.
I did not show Mr. Rowan the photo deliberately. There are very strict rules governing that sort of thing, which I wouldn't dream of disobeying. What happened was Mr. Rowan arrived at my office a short time before the parade took place. Well, suddenly I was called from my office on some other urgent matter. Unfortunately, I'd left the accused file open on my desk with his photo in it. When I returned, a matter of minutes later, Mr. Rowan was standing by my desk looking down at the file and the photo. Well, he said, "That's him, all right." I asked him what he meant. He pointed to the photo. I told him he had no right to be looking through the file.
Telling us that Mr. Rowan was poring through the file.
Oh, no, my lord, the file hadn't been touched. It was still in the same position, upside down from where he stood.
Nevertheless, Inspector, it was a very serious mistake on your part.
I admit I was at fault, my lord, but there was nothing intentional about it.
Well, intentional or not, Inspector, you must agree that my chances of a fair identification parade after that was impossible.
Don't know about unfair. Unnecessary, perhaps. After all, Mr. Rowan had picked out your photograph from many others only the day before. He was sure it was you, all right.
Well, why hold the parade at all?
It was necessary to formalise the identification.
Rubbish. You only hold a parade when there's some doubt.
You should know.
And so should you. However, let's leave the identification farce. You've told the court that you also received a phone call a couple of days after the robbery in which you were told that I was one of the men concerned in it.
That's right.
Anonymous, according to you.
Yes.
Very convenient.
Most tip-offs we get are anonymous. That doesn't mean we can afford to ignore them, unless, of course, they're clearly crank calls.
Did this anonymous informant give you any other names apart from mine?
No, just yours, then he rang off.
Didn't you think that strange?
No, it often happens that way. It's usually somebody with a personal grudge, which is quite common in the world of villainy.
So, on the strength of this convenient bit of information and Mr. Rowan's so-called identification, you came round to my house to arrest me, right?
To question you at first.
Tell me, Inspector, do you usually question a suspect by bursting uninvited into his home?
I did not burst uninvited into your home. Your wife asked me and my sergeant in.
You mean you knocked on the door and she invited you in, just like that?
That's right.
Inspector, I've been married for 10 years. My wife, let alone me, has suffered untold aggravation from coppers ever since she's known me. Now, do you honestly think that she's going to invite you people in just like that?
Well, she did.
She didn't. She opened the door and you stormed in, shoving her to one side, and when she protested, you told her to shut up or you'd nick her as well.
My lord, that is hearsay evidence.
Did you witness all this, Mr. Bryant?
I was in the lounge, my lord. She told me what happened.
You know what hearsay evidence is, I'm sure, Mr. Bryant.
My lord, my wife's not a liar, and I know how these people perform.
Nevertheless, you cannot say what other people have said unless you were present, or unless you intend to call a witness who was present. You know that. Now get on with it.
Very well, my lord. You say my wife invited you in. She will say different. However, once you were in, you came straight to the lounge where I was, right?
Yes.
Did I invite you to stay?
You asked me what I wanted. I told you I was investigating a robbery. I then asked you if you could account for your movements on the 6th, the day of the robbery.
No. That was later, Inspector. After I demanded that you leave my house. After my wife had come in behind you crying because you'd knocked her head against the wall when you shoved her aside.
That's a lie, and you know it.
It's the truth. And then I asked you if you had a warrant, and you said, I don't need a warrant for scum like you.
No.
Yes. All right, Inspector. I say you wouldn't go, despite my insistence. And then you asked me where I was on the day of the robbery. Now, what did I say?
You said you were at home all day.
And you asked me if I could prove it. I told you that my wife could verify it, which she did, right?
She supported your story.
Because it was true. And then you told me you were going to search my house.
I asked if I could.
Liar.
And you said, why not? You'll only go and get a search warrant anyway.
I told you you couldn't search unless you got a search warrant, but no matter. You went ahead and searched anyway, didn't you?
With your permission and in your presence.
Well, that's a laugh. You mean I trailed around behind you while you ransacked the house? My wife did the same with your sergeant.
That's not true.
Well, this is getting hopeless, isn't it, Inspector?
What do you mean?
Well, I say you did one thing, you say you did something else.
My version happens to be the truth.
No, Inspector. It's just that as a professional policeman and a witness for 16 years, your version of the truth rarely gets challenged in a court of law. You and people like you say whatever you want to get a conviction.
That's ridiculous.
That is not a question, Bryant. It's a comment. Stick to the facts.
All right, my lord, the facts. Could the inspector have a look at exhibit number 2, I think it is, my lord, the balaclava? Recognise it, do you, Inspector?
Yes, this is the balaclava I found hidden behind the wardrobe in your bedroom.
It's the balaclava you claim to have found hidden behind the wardrobe.
I found it there, all right. You were there.
Not when you pushed your way behind the wardrobe. I was in the room, all right, but I couldn't see what you were up to, short of climbing on top of you or the wardrobe.
It wouldn't be the first time you climbed on top of someone or something to get what you wanted.
Inspector, would you fold it up and put it in your pocket, please? There. It's not too bulky, is it? It wouldn't have been difficult to have had it hidden there when you arrived. Mr. Rowan had given you a good description of the balaclavas the robbers were wearing, the colour, the shape, etc. You had plenty of time to go to some department store and buy one to match it before you came to see me.
You appreciate, Inspector, you must answer these questions. The sooner you answer them, the sooner you will get out of the box.
You're suggesting I bought a balaclava fitting the description and planted it. I didn't.
Inspector, would you tell the court what I'm supposed to have said to you when you confronted me with your conjuring act?
Conjuring act?
But the balaclava you claim to have found.
Oh, well, you denied all knowledge of it, but then that's standard practice with people like you. But I did find it, and you know it. And then after a bit, you said, all right, Inspector, who stuck my name up?
Who stuck my name up? What did you understand by that, Inspector?
On the parlance of villains, my lord, that usually means something like, who informed on me.
And what did that indicate to you?
Well, to me, it indicated he knew something about the robbery.
Yes, I thought perhaps it would. I just wanted to be sure. What did he say then?
He asked if he could talk to me alone. I said if anything he wanted to say to me, I would prefer he said it in front of my sergeant.
And what did he say to that?
He said, no, this is business.
And what did you understand that to mean?
Well, knowing as I do, my lord, the way that villains like Bryant think, I presumed he wanted to try and do some sort of deal with me. Well, naturally, I had no intention of doing any kind of deal with him. But I agreed to talk to him alone, because I thought I might learn something about the other men involved in the robbery.
So you spoke to him in private?
Yes, my lord. We went back into his bedroom.
Where else, dearie? Silence in court.
Who was that? Who shouted that? I warn you, I will not tolerate interruptions and remarks of that kind in my court. If I find out who it is, I shall have no hesitation in using my powers to punish him for contempt. You went into another room to speak alone to the accused. What was the content of that conversation?
Well, Bryant asked me if I would accept a drink to forget the whole thing.
That didn't mean a cordial, did it?
No, my lord, it's villain slang, meaning will you accept a bribe of some kind, usually money.
And what did you say to that?
I opened the bedroom door and called Sergeant Fisher in. Then I asked Bryant to repeat what he'd just asked me in front of the sergeant.
And did he?
No, he went berserk, my lord. Shouting, screaming obscenities. And then he struck me rather a heavy blow in the face with his fist. Fortunately, Sergeant Harris and I managed to restrain him after a while. But it was a job that wasn't helped by the fact that Mrs. Bryant started screaming and swearing and tried to stop us from restraining her husband.
It was that animal there who hit her.
Bryant, control yourself. If you consistently ignore my rulings, I shall be forced to stop you by other means.
My lord, he's trying to involve my wife in...
Do as I say.
With respect, my lord, it is I who is supposed to be cross-examining a witness.
And so you shall. But it is I who am in control of this court, not you. I was simply trying to expedite matters and to clarify Inspector Collins's version of what happened. Very well. You may now continue.
I'm much obliged, my lord. I don't suppose there's much point now in trying to refute your elaborate fantasy, Spectre. After all, if you're believed, I can only go to jail for God knows how many years. But I deny categorically that I offered you a bribe. Not because I don't think you wouldn't take it, but because I'm innocent. And as for your distortion about my going berserk, I was simply trying to stop you and your sergeant from forcibly taking me to the police station without formally arresting me. And it was my wife and me who got the thumps, not you. However, there is one little item that the jury might be interested in. It's not the first time you've arrested me, is it, Inspector?
No.
No, in fact, only 15 months ago you tried to do exactly what you've succeeded in doing here. Get me indicted on false and fabricated evidence.
You were a prime suspect in a robbery. I simply questioned you about it. That's my job.
Prime suspect? Did you arrest me?
You were held for questioning.
I was held, all right. Incommunicado in a cell for 3 days. Now, that was against the law for a start. But then I was a known villain, and by your reasoning, didn't have the normal rights of an ordinary citizen. Your superior told you to release me because he realised there was no evidence against me whatever, and that you were simply holding a personal vendetta against me on your part. And that was when, Inspector, you decided to get me. Isn't that true?
No.
Didn't you take me in 15 months ago and question me in a cell for 3 days?
Yes, but
no more questions of this witness, my lord.
Inspector Collins, do you agree that a senior police officer should be truthful?
Of necessity, yes.
Honest?
Yes.
Accurate?
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
And without bias?
Oh, certainly, sir.
And should he always be careful in his choice of words and emphasis?
Absolutely.
Should he be, in short, fearless, firm and fair?
Fearless, definitely. Fair, definitely.
And firm?
Well, firmness goes with that, I suppose. But they are the two essentials of a criminal investigation officer.
And have you always displayed these characteristics?
I think my past record in the police force would support that, sir.
Thank you, Inspector. I have no more questions of this witness, my lord.
My lord,
What is it?
I understand that we have now reached the point at which I may address the jury in the matter of my character.
The point of no return, as you might say, Mr. Bryant.
I'm well aware of the consequences of the decision, my lord.
Very well.
My lord, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, now throughout the trial so far, you've probably noticed his lordship refer obliquely to matters of character. Now, I'm sure you're aware this refers to my character, good or bad, and that of the witnesses. Now, putting your character in issue, as it's called, means that you allow your character to be openly questioned in court. Now, in my experience, and in the experience of others I've questioned on this, the legal profession have this reply. Don't attack the police. Say you did something like it. Deny anything that has a tendency to show a guilty answer. But, as far as you can, don't make any suggestions that the police are telling lies. If you do, and you're a man with previous convictions, you're challenging their character, and they will immediately read out your convictions in court. Now, this is what my counsel told me. Well, part of my defence is that the police are telling lies and have in fact conspired to fabricate evidence against me for reasons that I hope to make clear later. My counsel didn't want me to take this approach. They never do. But I do because it's the truth. Now, that's why I sacked her. So I'm telling you now, members of the jury, I have a record of criminal offences. Quite a few, and some of them quite serious. I've been convicted more than once, and I've been to prison. Well, now you know. And since you do know, members of the jury, I hope that you will not let that prejudice your decision when it comes to reaching a verdict. All I ask is that you listen to the evidence and the witnesses and judge me on that alone. Thank you.
My lord, in my submission, the speech which the accused has just made ought to be construed as a question to Inspector Collins about the accused character. And the inspector ought to be given the opportunity of replying to that question.
Yes, Mr. Logan, we may as well have it now. I must say it is a peculiarly long and appalling record, Mr. Logan.
Indeed it is, my lord, but I'll try to be brief.
If you would.
The defendant's first conviction as an adult was in June 1958, when he was sentenced to Borstal training, from where he absconded in October of the same year. He was arrested in November 1958 and sentenced to imprisonment for offences whilst at large, and was returned to Borstal training. Since December 1959, he has served 8 terms of imprisonment and was last released in September 1970. Between March 1952 and April 1966, he has been convicted on 14 different occasions for store breaking, larceny, attempted breaking, taking motor vehicles without the owner's consent, unlawful possession, receiving, assault on the police, robbery. Shall I read the whole list out, my lord?
No, I think that is sufficient for anyone to gauge his character, Mr. Logan.
Well, is that right, Inspector? Are those antecedents which I just read out correct?
Yes, my lord.
For my next witness, my lord, I would like to call Sergeant Fisher.
Very well.
Sergeant, please.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I should give this court and jury should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Sergeant Harold Fisher, Fulchester CID.
Sergeant, is it correct that Bryant, albeit reluctantly, gave you and Inspector Collins permission to search his house?
Yes, sir.
And the inspector wasn't with you when you searched the kitchen, was he?
No, sir, we split up to search. It was quicker that way. I searched the kitchen, bathroom, toilet, and one of the bedrooms, the child, sir.
And did Mrs. Bryant accompany you at all times?
She did, sir.
Did she complain about your methods of searching?
No, sir.
No. Did you find anything of interest in the search?
Yes, sir, in the kitchen, hidden away at the back of a cupboard, I found a bottle of ammonia, sir.
Yes, could the witness please see Exhibit 1, please? Is that the bottle, Sergeant?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Did Mrs. Bryant give any explanation as to why she had the ammonia?
Well, she didn't at first, sir.
Did she suggest that you planted it?
Oh, no, sir, no. Now, when I pressed her, she said she used it for cleaning.
For cleaning? Cleaning what?
Oh, various things, you know. Floor, tiles, bathroom, things like that.
Did you ask her if her husband ever used it for anything?
Yes, I did. She said he didn't. I then asked her if her husband knew she had the ammonia. She said she didn't know, but probably not, as he wasn't concerned with what she bought in the way of ordinary household goods, sir.
I believe you've had the bottle examined forensically.
Yes, sir.
And the results of that examination? There will be expert evidence on this, my lord.
It was found to be undiluted ammonia, sir. And Bryant's fingerprints were also on the bottle.
Did you confront Bryant with the bottle of ammonia?
Yes, I did, sir.
And what did he say?
Just trying to fit me up.
Fit me up.
Yes, my lord, it's underworld slang meaning to fabricate evidence.
I see.
And were you trying to fit him up, Sergeant?
Well, certainly not, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Bryant?
Sergeant, do you know what the verbal is?
Verbal?
Yes.
I think so.
You only think so? Well, I would have thought from the testimony that you and Inspector Collins have given, you were both experts on underworld slang.
Well, naturally, we're both quite conversant with it. I mean, it's part of our job, isn't it?
So, you know exactly what is meant when someone says, they put the verbals on me.
Who put the verbals on who?
Oh, come on, Sergeant. If a villain says it, he can only be referring to the police, isn't that so?
Well, not necessarily.
But more than likely.
Well, perhaps.
The verbal, as it's called, members of the jury, means putting words into people's mouths they never said, or twisting the meaning by taking words they have said and repeating them out of context. The police are experts at it.
Mr. Bryant, please. You will disregard that last and completely insupportable generalization about the police.
Is it not a fact, Sergeant, that convictions against policemen for offences including brutality, theft, conspiracy and perjury have shown an alarming increase in recent years?
You may disregard that question, Sergeant Fisher.
There have been a few isolated cases which have resulted in a policeman being convicted of certain crimes, but these are the exceptions, not the rule. Far from it.
Unlike your immediate superior, Inspector Collins, your attitude after my arrest was reasonable, Sergeant. I mean, you didn't show the obsessive signs that you were out to get me at any price like he did. But surely you're subject to the same pressures as most professions.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, I mean, you have to do what your boss tells you.
No, I do my duty, my job.
Well, your duty is to protect the innocent as well as apprehend the guilty.
I'd hardly call you an innocent. But that is what I do to the best of my ability.
Sergeant Fisher, I deplore such comments coming from the police. I must tell you I will not tolerate it.
Yes, madam.
Well, I'm sure you do your best on most occasions, Sergeant. But it's a little strange, isn't it, how your version of what took place in my house is so exactly similar in every detail to that of your boss.
I don't see it so strange, considering it's what took place.
That little notebook you've got there that all policemen carry to refresh their memories, the notes in there concerning me. Now, did you write them up separately, Or did you compare them with the notes that Inspector Collins made? My lord, tell Inspector Collins not to make signals to the witness.
Were you making signals, Inspector?
Certainly not, my lord.
Answer the question, Sergeant, and turn away from Inspector Collins.
I wrote up my notes separately, my lord.
Separately, Sergeant?
Yes.
Well, isn't it a remarkable coincidence that you've both selected exactly the same incidents and bits of verbal to record?
It's what you said, not verbal.
That's not what I asked, Sergeant.
No, it's not such a coincidence. It may appear to be selected, but not in the way you suggest. It's just that it would be impracticable to record everything a suspect says. I mean, an interrogation can take place over several days. It's part of our training as police officers to select those bits which are most relevant, that's all.
You mean the incriminating bits?
Not necessarily.
And if nothing incriminating is said and there's no real evidence, you'll invent a few lines.
No, I do not do that.
Sergeant, have I or have I not protested my innocence from the very outset of this case?
Yes, I suppose you have.
Well, then doesn't it follow that as a man of considerable experience in avoiding incriminating myself for the police, I'd be very careful not to say anything that would incriminate me?
That is convenient, Mr. Bryant.
Perhaps you're not as clever as you think.
Well, I may not be very clever, Sergeant, but I know the difference between coincidence and collusion. Thank you very much. No more questions, my lord.
The last witness for the prosecution, my lord, is Inspector Woolley.
Inspector Woolley, please.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give this court and jury shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Inspector Arnold Woolley, fingerprint officer, attached to Fulchester CID.
How long have you served in the fingerprint branch, Inspector Woolley?
17 years.
And have you ever known prints not to conform to a sequence of ridge patterns?
Never.
How many characteristics of a fingerprint are needed for certain identification?
Well, 8 is about the minimum, satisfactory, you might say. 10 is good, 18 beyond any doubt.
So you're saying there is no doubt that the accused's fingerprints are on that bottle of ammonia found in his house?
No doubt at all.
Thank you, Inspector.
No questions, my lord.
Thank you, Inspector. You may stand down.
That concludes the case for the Crown, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Dealey. Mr. Bryant, you may now present your case in defence.
My lord, I'd like to call my wife, Mrs. Pauline Bryant.
The case of the Queen versus Bryant will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. On July the 6th of this year, 4 masked men, armed with pickaxe handles and bottles of ammonia, stole £30,000, which was being transferred to the Frampton branch of the British United Bank. The trial of Harry George Bryant, accused of being one of these men, is reaching its final stage. Bryant is conducting his own defence, and in spite of his criminal record, maintains that the police are trying to frame him. His only witness, his wife, Mrs. Pauline Bryant, is now being cross-examined by the prosecution.
We come now to the bottle of ammonia, Mrs. Bryant. You don't deny, do you, that Sergeant Fisher found it in your kitchen?
No.
And that he found it hidden away at the back of a cupboard?
It wasn't hidden away. It was simply placed at the back of the cupboard for safety.
Safety?
Yes, I have a 6-year-old child. Anything that could cause her harm is naturally put out of her reach.
So you do realise, then, that ammonia is harmful?
Yes.
You told Sergeant Fisher that you used the ammonia as a cleanser, is that correct?
Yes.
Mrs. Bryant, in this day and age it's possible to buy a multitude of cleansers for every conceivable purpose, most of which are harmless. Why buy an unusual and dangerous one like ammonia?
Well, I don't see the point in buying a multitude of cleaners when one can do the job of quite a few. Anyway, it's cheaper.
Have you ever asked Mr. Bryant to bring home a bottle of ammonia?
No, I don't think so.
I asked because you told Sergeant Fisher that as far as you knew, your husband didn't know you had ammonia. Is that correct?
As far as I knew, yes.
And hadn't used it himself for any purpose?
Well, I mean, there wouldn't be any reason for him to.
How do you explain his fingerprints on the bottle then, Mrs. Bryant?
I don't know. Well, perhaps he was looking for something else in the cupboard and just happened to move it or something.
Or something. Let's see, you say that you were at home all day on the 6th, the day of the robbery. It was a Thursday.
Yes.
And you didn't go out at all, either of you?
No.
Does your daughter attend school, Mrs. Bryant?
Yes, she does.
She's 6, you say?
Yes.
So presumably she doesn't go alone. Someone escorts her.
Yes.
Who, Mrs. Bryant?
Well, I do.
And the 6th was a normal school day, was it not?
Yes.
And your daughter attended school that day? It'd be a simple matter to check the school records, Mrs. Bryant.
Yes, she did.
And you took her?
Yes.
So you weren't in all day?
I forgot about that. It's only a 10-minute walk. I took my daughter to school and came straight home again. My husband was still indoors.
Did you pick her up from school again?
Yes.
That's twice you went out that day.
Well, it was only for a matter of minutes, and both at times when my husband couldn't possibly have... I mean, the robbery took place miles away.
You say you're just a housewife, Mrs. Bryant, but isn't it a fact that you have a part-time job?
No, not really. These friends of ours have a shop. Fruit and veg. I sometimes help them out when they're busy.
Mr. and Mrs. Cooper. They have a shop in the High Street.
Yes.
My information is that you work for them regularly on a Thursday, Friday and Saturday and have done ever since your daughter started school. You go straight to the school and then go on to the shop. Is that right?
No, not always.
I also understand that your husband has an interest in this shop. He's in fact a silent partner. Is that right?
I think so.
Do you know if your husband will be calling Mr. and Mrs. Cooper to support your story that you were not at work on the 6th?
No, they couldn't. They've gone away on holiday.
Gone away on holiday. How very convenient. I put it to you, Mrs. Bryant, that you're lying.
No.
I put it to you that you did go to work on the 6th, that you didn't buy that ammonia for cleaning, and that you've concocted this alibi with your husband when you visited him in prison.
No.
All right. Why didn't you go to work that day?
I didn't feel like it. I rang them. I didn't feel very well.
You didn't feel very well? You didn't feel like it?
No, I had an upset stomach.
Caused, no doubt, by anxiety because you knew your husband was going out that day to commit a serious crime.
No.
Mrs. Bryant, this isn't the first time you've given evidence on your husband's behalf, is it? In 1963, he was convicted of receiving, and on that occasion you stood up in court and said it was you, not he, who bought that stolen property without knowing it was stolen. Is that so?
Yes.
And that, too, was because you loved your husband, didn't want to see him go to prison, right?
No, I did buy it.
No more questions, my lord.
Mr. Bryant?
No questions, my lord.
Thank you, Mrs. Bryant. You may go.
I'm not going to call any more witnesses, my lord. I'll give evidence myself.
Very well, Mr. Bryant. Will you please go into the witness box?
Religion, are you?
CV.
Take the Bible in your right hand and repeat the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I should give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Members of the jury, everything I've said so far has been the truth, so there's no point in repeating it. But I am prepared to answer any questions that anyone may want to ask.
Mr. Bryant, why didn't you help Inspector Collins to move the wardrobe if you had nothing to hide?
Because I'd refused him permission to search the house in the first place. And if I'd have had anything to hide, I'd have thought of a better place than behind a wardrobe.
Because you're an experienced criminal?
Was an experienced criminal, Mr. Logan. And there was a time I couldn't think of anything better than that.
And wasn't it because you assumed you wouldn't even be approached, let alone arrested, for this robbery?
But look, it stands to reason, doesn't it? If I was involved in this robbery, what earthly reason would I have for bringing the balaclava home? I'd dump it. An idiot would think of that.
And you're not an idiot, are you, Mr. Bryant?
Well, I've made my share of mistakes, but I've paid for them. And I've learnt a few things along the way too, and one of them is never, under any circumstances, bring incriminating evidence into your own home.
You set great store by the benefits of experience, do you?
Well, it certainly helps.
Inspector Collins has been a police officer for 16 years. Do you really expect the court to believe that a man of his experience, even supposing there's a grain of truth in your allegations, would be so amateurish and crude in his attempts to fabricate evidence?
He wouldn't be the first. And in any case, they rely on and exploit the myth that so many people believe, that British policemen just don't do that sort of thing.
Have you ever pleaded guilty on the numerous occasions you've been before a court, Mr. Bryant?
Yeah, I think so.
Twice as a juvenile. Twice out of 15 appearances. Presumably you hadn't learnt the ropes of your profession at that time.
Well, only a fool or a masochist volunteers to be punished.
Yet in your address to the court you said you had been convicted, rightly so.
Yes.
But you nevertheless pleaded not guilty.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I just thought that was obvious.
Not to me.
Man of your experience.
Don't be insolent, Bryant. Answer the question.
Well, if you're a villain, as I was at one time, the whole point of the game is to try and get away with it.
Like you're trying to here?
No.
I notice you use the word game, Mr. Bryant. Is that how you view your unlawful behaviour? As a game?
It's just a figure of speech.
So you don't think it's a game?
I'm not going to fall into that trap.
You're wriggling, Mr. Bryant.
You're cheating, Mr. Logan.
I warn you, Bryant, this trial is not a game.
I'm sorry, my lord.
I repeat, so you don't think your criminal behaviour is a game?
Well, I don't think of it as anything, no.
No, it's a serious business, isn't it?
What is?
Committing crimes and trying to get away with them.
It's a serious business trying to defend yourself against this system when you've got the form I got, innocent or not. And in this case, I am innocent.
And you say that under oath?
Yes.
An oath which you clearly hold in contempt?
No.
But you've already admitted that you've pleaded not guilty to charges on which you were rightly convicted. You gave evidence on those occasions, presumably?
Well, some of them.
Under oath?
I suppose so.
Maintaining your innocence?
If you like.
Well, isn't that lying under oath?
Well, this is different.
Well, why is this case so different from all those others, Mr. Bryant?
Because this time I'm innocent.
Are you? Are you, Mr. Bryant? Or are you just going through your old routine?
Well, there you are, you see. That's what I'm up against, my past.
You insist you've given up the life of crime?
Since I came out of prison last time.
In September 1970?
Yes.
How have you been earning your living since then, Mr. Bryant?
Well, I've got an interest in a couple of businesses.
Oh, would you tell us what those business interests are?
Well, I don't see that that's relevant.
I will decide what is relevant, Mr. Bryant. Answer the question.
Well, I have an interest in two shops. One my wife mentioned, the fruit and veg shop.
And the other one?
Well, it's a second-hand shop, actually. Sell furniture, bric-a-brac, electrical goods, anything, really.
Do you own these businesses?
Well, you might say I've got the biggest interest in them.
So you own them?
Well, they're in my name, but I share the profits equally with the men who run them.
One of whom is Mr. Cooper, the man who is on holiday with his wife and therefore couldn't be here to support your wife's testimony.
That was planned months ago. He didn't know when I'd come to trial.
This Mr. Cooper, he gets an equal share of the profits from that shop?
Yes.
As I understand it, Mr. Bryant, these are not very big shops.
Average.
Yes, but they could hardly be described as large businesses, could they?
But large enough to support me and my family.
Not two little shops, with the profits shared?
Yes.
What sort of car do you run, Mr. Bryant? The make?
Well, it's a Mercedes, actually.
Recent model?
Last year's.
You bought it new?
Yes,
An expensive car by any standards, wouldn't you say?
Now, look, a lot of people run expensive cars they can't really afford. That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
No. But you also have and live in a well-situated and well-appointed house. And you and your wife obviously like good clothes, jewellery, etc., go on expensive holidays. Now, would you say that that was in keeping with the extent of your business interests?
Yes.
All I can say to that, Mr. Bryant, is that the country could do with a man of your acumen to solve its economic problems.
What I'm wondering here, Mr. Logan, is how the accused came to be granted legal aid in the light of what we have heard.
Which may indeed have some bearing on our economic problems, my lord.
Well, there's no mystery about it, my lord. My house is mortgaged, my car's on HP, and when my solicitors had extracted every last penny I could lay my hands on, and still wanted more, I was forced to ask the lower court for legal aid. Well, that's why the barrister I wanted
I don't
declined...
think the jury is concerned with these allegations, Mr. Bryant.
What I'm suggesting, Mr. Bryant...
I know what you're suggesting.
...is that these so-called business interests are simply a front so that you can continue your life of crime behind a veneer of respectability.
Rubbish.
And that your defence, your only defence, is to indulge in the fashionable exercise of attacking the police.
No.
But you confessed just now, did you not, that you lived by stealing and habitually told lies under oath. You're a self-confessed liar and thief. And there's no denying that, is there, Mr. Bryant? You make the same claim as your wife, do you not, that you stayed in all day on the day of the robbery?
Yes.
You often stay at home all day?
Not often. Occasionally.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, why do you stay in all day? Any specific reason?
Well, does there have to be?
I'm asking the questions, Mr. Bryant.
No, there's no specific reason. Well, don't you? Doesn't anyone stay indoors all day just because they feel like it?
Well, most people are at work or about their business during the day, especially on a weekday.
Well, I wasn't just sitting about. I was writing some business letters, sorting through invoices. I settled a few bills, things like that.
You pay your bills by cheque?
Yes.
So if you wrote a few business letters and signed cheques to send off to your creditors, you would have dated them?
Naturally.
Who did you write to?
Well, I can't remember offhand. I write quite a few business letters.
Do you make copies?
Sometimes, depends how important they are.
And were these important business letters?
Oh, I don't know. I don't honestly remember.
I would have thought you would have had a chance to remember every single incident of that day, Mr. Bryant, considering its importance in your life.
Why are you asking these questions? I don't see what you're driving at.
Simply this, Mr. Bryant. If what you say is true, it would have been a simple matter for you to have produced the cancelled cheques or copies of the letters you purport to have written in order to support your story that you were home that day.
Well, the answer to that is I would have if I'd have thought of it.
Well, I'm sure his lordship will allow someone, your wife perhaps, to go home and get these things, if they exist at all.
Well, I don't mind, but I don't see what it'll prove.
I will give you the opportunity to produce these documents, Mr. Bryant. If you do not, Mr. Logan can comment on it. If you do, it may assist you.
Well, if I do produce them, my lord, he'll simply say that I post-dated the cheques and wrote any dates I wanted to on the letters.
Nevertheless, it is something that could substantiate your story, is it not?
Well, hardly, my lord.
So that leaves us as we were before. Just you and your wife's word that you were home all day.
Yes.
And that's hardly enough either, is it?
My wife's not a liar.
But you are?
Well, we all tell lies sometimes, but on this occasion I'm not lying.
Your wife lied about being in all day, didn't she?
She didn't lie. She just forgot that she'd taken my daughter to school. Well, anyone could do that. It's a habit, something you do every day. It's unconscious. It's not fair to say that she was lying.
And it's not fair to ask her to lie either, is it?
I didn't ask her to lie.
Oh, come now, Mr. Bryant. If your accusations against Inspector Collins and Sergeant Fisher are possible, isn't it also equally possible that you and your wife could have compared notes?
Yeah, anything's possible. Only we didn't.
But you and your wife's version of what happened is also exactly similar in every detail. Now, isn't that also rather strange?
No, it's the truth.
I see. So it's strange that two police officers' stories should match, but not you and your wife's. Very odd. What about the bottle of ammonia, Mr. Bryant?
What about it?
Well, you knew it was there, didn't you?
No.
But your fingerprints were on it.
Do you remember everything you touch?
But the bottle's unusual, is it not? If one saw it, one would be curious, would one not? One would look at the label.
My obsessions don't lie in that direction, Mr. Logan.
No, your obsessions have about them a quality of paranoia, Mr. Bryant.
If you mean do I feel persecuted by the police, that's true, but with good reason.
Would you say that you were a violent man, Mr. Bryant?
No, not particularly.
But you've been convicted of violent crimes. One of them a robbery, very similar to this.
I've been convicted, true. Not true that I was personally violent. I was a driver on that occasion, as the records will show.
But you were a party to violence. You knew there would be violence, and you went along with it. Is that not correct?
That still doesn't make me personally a violent man.
But you've also been convicted of personal violence. An assault on the police, to be exact.
Oh, look, the police charge people like me with assault if I look at them the wrong way.
Inspector Collins says that you punched him in the mouth.
Face.
In the face, while you were resisting arrest. Do you deny that?
Certainly. It was me who got the right-hander. Several, actually.
You were resisting arrest.
I was trying to resist being forcibly dragged from my own home to the police station without being formally arrested. Sergeant Fisher held my arms while Inspector Collins punched me in the stomach. That put me right out of the game. Then he hit me a few more times. When my wife tried to intervene, he just shoved her aside.
Really, Mr. Bryant?
Really, Mr. Logan.
Is there any point in your version of the events that took place that day which coincides with the version of the police?
They came to my house, they searched it. They took me to the police station. There's no argument about that. It just didn't happen the way they say.
And what happened when you arrived at the police station?
I was slung in a cell.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Did you ask to see any other police officers while you were there?
Yeah, I asked to see an officer of higher rank.
Was this request denied?
No, but it wasn't till I'd been held incommunicado for 6 hours in the cell, and without any refreshment, I might add, that someone came to see me.
Who was that?
Superintendent Carson.
What did you say to him?
I told him that I wanted to make a formal complaint against Collins and Fisher.
And did you?
I tried.
Tried?
He just laughed at me and said, "You must be joking."
The superintendent?
That's right.
Now, let's get this perfectly straight, Mr. Bryant. You asked to see a high-ranking police officer because you wished to make an official complaint, and he just laughed?
It doesn't surprise me, Mr. Logan. It's typical of many encounters I've had with the police.
But an official complaint against the police has to be recorded. That is the law, isn't it, Mr. Bryant?
Don't be so naive, Mr. Logan. And even if it were, the police investigate the police. It's just like any other profession. They look after their own.
Your paranoia seems to extend to the entire British police force.
And your sarcasm won't alter the facts in this case, Mr. Logan.
But the police, in this case, have told a tissue of lies from start to finish.
Exactly.
2 police officers, 3, if we count the superintendent, have all conspired to falsify the evidence against you.
Yes.
Would it surprise you to know, Mr. Bryant, that Inspector Collins has received 8 recommendations during his career in the police force?
So did John Reginald Christie, the special constable and mass murderer.
No more questions, Manel.
Bryant, you will now return to the dock. Members of the jury, it is beyond doubt that a robbery did take place on the 6th of July in which £30,000 was stolen. What you have to decide, ladies and gentlemen, is whether Bryant was a party to that robbery or not. And let me remind you that, apart from the identification of Bryant by the bank guard, Rowan, there is no direct evidence that he was there at all. None. In a way, this case hinges almost entirely on the credibility of the main witnesses. Let us have a look at some of them. I don't think we need concern ourselves over much with the testimony of Mr. Mason. He was merely relating what took place on that unfortunate day. Then we have Mr. Rowan, the bank guard. He could say definitely that the balaclava was very similar to the one he tore from his attacker's face. On the matter of identification, he is quite definite. What happened with the photographs at the police station is another matter. But it is serious, and you will give it your earnest consideration. It was suggested by Bryant that Mr. Rowan made up his story in order to protect his credentials as a security guard, but Rowan has denied that. It is a matter for you to decide. We then come to Inspector Collins. What is crucial here is whether you believe him or not. He is, as we have heard, a police officer of some 16 years' service without a blemish on his record. Now, what you have to ask yourselves here is whether a man like that would jeopardize his whole career in order to get a conviction. He showed signs of bias against the defendant, I think you would agree. But was it, do you think, vindictiveness, carried to the point where he would invent evidence and lie under oath? Again, it is a matter for you. Now to the defense witnesses, Bryant himself and his wife. Was there a basic honesty and decency about her? Or is she a clever liar and actress? She says she bought the ammonia as a cleanser. Did she? And if she did, was that the only reason the ammonia was in the house? Ammonia was used on the robbery, we all remember. The fact that it was in the Bryant's household does not prove that it was bought for anything else other than cleaning. And now we have the testimony of Bryant himself. He is clearly a man of intelligence, and not without considerable experience of crime and the working of this court. In his favor, if you take a certain view, it must be admitted that it is not easy to come before a court and volunteer information about one's past which may damage one's character. Had he listened to counsel's advice, you members of the jury would have not known about his past history. What would you have thought of him then? Try as we might, as human beings, it is very difficult to be absolutely impartial in the face of evidence such as this. But this, members of the jury, is what you must try your utmost to do here today. Now, members of the jury, you will please retire and consider your verdict.
Members of the jury, who shall speak as your foreman?
I will.
Are you agreed upon your verdict?
We are.
On the first count of robbery, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
No!
On the second count of assault on the police, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You therefore find the prisoner guilty on both counts. That is the verdict of you all?
We do.
Bryant, is there anyone you wish to call on your behalf?
Will it do any good?
It might.
Why bother?
Harry George Bryant, you have been found guilty on the verdict of the jury. Have you anything to say why judgment should not be given to you according to the law?
Yes, plenty, but what's the point?
Harry George Bryant, you have been found guilty of taking part in what is now unhappily becoming a very common form of crime. You played for high stakes, and those who play for high stakes have to pay heavy penalties when the game is lost. On the first count, you will go to prison for 10 years. On the second count, 6 months concurrent. Take him down.